Hello, friends, and welcome back. This is Susan Joy Greco, and I have a story that I've written that I would like to share with you. It's called The Crab Crawl, Circle of Support, or Party Pile. Pity Party Pile. Once upon a time, there was a cheerful little crab that lived by the sea with her family, her relatives, and neighbors, and they were inseparable. You could find them all skittering along the shoreline, wrestling with their strong claws and avoiding seagulls and harvesting bits of food to eat. Now, crabs are called crabs for a reason. They are touchy creatures. They're soft and tender on the inside with hard shell exteriors. So the crab community tends to be a pretty rough crowd, especially with one another. The crab community prides themselves on being masters of evasions, able to skitter left and right and burrow into the sand, disappearing for protection. And I suppose if you spent part of your life as a vulnerable blob while growing back a shell, you'd be pretty cautious too. After all, as the crabs would say, it is a crab-eat-crab world out there. What crabs dread most is being caught, taken out of their home, which is the ocean. So old sage crabs would tell tales of how whole families would suddenly and mysteriously be whisked away by strange magical devices. The biggest warning given to the young crabs was, if the food looks too good to be true, it probably is. So, one day, the little cheerful crab was playing with their best friends when they found themselves all being lifted out of the ocean, and then they were unceremoniously dumped in a bucket with other sea crabs. "Hey, watch it!" some of the crabs croaked and wheezed as the little crabs rolled onto the pile. When the little sea crabs finally got their footing and looked around, they saw their aunts, their uncles, their cousins, their moms and dads. And what they heard was a long moan that went something like this. "Oh, this is what the sage crabs warned us about. This is it. This is the end. That is just the way life is." It was like a chorus of defeat sung by the whole community of crabs. But the two little crabs did not feel that way. They felt curious. So they began to climb up the pile of sea crabs to see what they could say. "Hey, watch it!" the cranky crabs yelled as the little crabs nimbly climbed up to the top. The chorus of defeat was beginning to sound like a distant memory, replaced by another sound, the sound of the sea calling. Soon, the two tiny crabs peered over the side, just catching a glimpse of the ocean. "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" a crab bubbled as he took his mighty claw and pulled them each down. "Where do you think you're going? This is it! This is the end! This is just the way it is, and we will all go down together." But the little crab spoke up. "Oh, but did you know that the ocean is only a few feet away and we are so close?" And then the little crabs got so excited and said to the bigger crabs, "We could all just climb out of here, one by one, pull each over one by one, and make it home in time for the sunset." But the cranky crabs would have none of it. "Hey, listen to these two, saying we can get out of here and go home. Ha!" The bigger crowds jeered, and the chorus of defeat began to hum to a chorus of mocking and jeering. "That's ridiculous. Nobody gets out of here alive. That's what all the sages say. This is the way it is. This is just the way it is." And they began to repeat that over and over until it became like a hypnotic trance for the crab community. But the little crabs could not and would not forget what they've experienced when they went to the top. They felt freedom in their bodies. So without another word, they climbed up again and saw their escape. On their way, they grabbed their mom and dad and dragged them up, showing the ocean to them. But their parents just sighed and sunk back. This is the end. This is the way it is. Their parents slumped and rejoined the chorus of defeat and hopelessness. And for a brief moment, the little crabs slumped too. They loved their mom and dad and family so much. Like sea crabs in a bucket, they grab for their skin. Like trapped crabs in a cage, they drag them down in. Like sea crabs in a bucket, they grab for their skin. Like trapped crabs in a cage, they drag them down in. Yes, they so loved their mom and dad and their families. But the two little crabs saw the sun setting, and with aching hearts, they realized what they had to do. It was either they're going to die with their family or climb into their future. And they looked at each other and thought and spoke aloud to one another. We'll do this for our children. We'll do this for future generations. This is not the way it has to be. We can make new choices and live our lives. So with hope spurring them on, the two little crabs climbed again, only this time they did not stop. They did not look back. And when they came to the edge, they paused long enough to see something amazing and awesome. All around them were buckets of crabs. And at the top of them, there were other crabs also peering out from the top of the sea crab pile. Big crabs, little crabs, old crabs, young crabs. Some even had begun to climb over the edge and skitter on the sand near the welcoming ocean. So the two little sea crabs took the leap. The landing was hard, and a funny thing happened. There was a soft hum, emerging from all the crabs that were drawn together in a circle. All these crabs, these crab escapees, were gathering together. There were tears in their eyes as they left behind their loved ones and the life that they once knew. But there was also hope in their hearts and desire to live in their bodies. Instinctively, they began to join in a circle, each mighty claw holding onto the next mighty claw, and they began to declare, "No more pity parties. No more pity parties. Our might to live make all things right. Our might and our right to live makes all things right. No more pity parties." They stood in the safety of that circle of support for a long time. And then as the sun began to set, they smiled at one another, let go, and skittered into the welcoming ocean to have children and to build new lives. The end. Until next time, friends, live the empowered, essential you.